T2.
Oh yeah, so today is going to be an amazing day. And here's why. Sorry, I had to start with one. Because the Inspiration Show is reporting to you live from Buffalo, New York, national tour of Dear Evan Hansen. And this episode is super special because it's the first in-person one. And I have two very, very special people with me who are very special in my life. The incredible Reese Sebastian Diaz. He covers the roles of Evan, Jared, and Connor. And Pierce Wheeler, he covers the roles of Evan and Jared. And I'm so excited. So when did you discover that you guys has a passion for singing and theater?
You want to start?
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
The first show I saw was a regional production of A Christmas Carol, which is like a play with music. So it was at my local community theater. My best friend from preschool was in it. It's like he was in the choir. His name is Luke. So I saw it to support him, and I just fell in love with it. I was like, that was so cool. And we found out after that they take classes. They have classes there.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with it. My mom signed me up for the classes, and then from there it just like spiraled. I saw my first tour and Broadway show, and just
and fast forward, Reese was a Broadway boy.
Yeah, the Broadway boy.
You were Michael in Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that was the first Broadway show I saw. I saw that when I was like 9, and then I was in it 2 years later.
Oh, I love that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I am the youngest of 4 siblings, and they all do theater.
I didn't know.
So growing up, I remember the specific day we got back from the beach, and my brother, who was just auditioned for the community theater that he was doing on Long Island, the production of Les Mis. They needed a little boy to play Gavroche, and he was like, do you sing? And I was like, okay. And I, I just wanted to give it a whack, because at that point I was just like playing baseball, and I never thought that much about theater. I mean, I always loved watching like old movie musicals, like Singing in the Rain and Sound of Music growing up, like we all do.
Yep.
And then I just like auditioned for the show, and I was just like, wow, it's so fun, like entertaining people and singing. And then I went, everyone's first show is usually The Lion King, like Disney's The Lion King or something.
Mine was Willy Wonka.
Yeah. And I think mine was also Lion King, but I don't really remember that. But for my communion in 2nd grade, my family took me to see BB Newirth and Nathan Lane in The Addams Family.
Oh,
and I remember just sitting in the audience and people surrounding me, like just like cackling and loving what they're seeing on stage. And I was like, I want to do that. Like,
I love that.
So yeah, I mean, just like taking in, consuming all sorts of media, and just my siblings really inspired
So special. And like theater is magic. I say it so many times on the show, but it's so true. Would you say there's anything specific that inspired you to become a performer, and who has been an inspiration of yours throughout your career?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of inspirations. I feel like it changes and evolves and ebbs and flows. But Ben Plow was a big one for a long time. Obviously, this role is something I've wanted to do for a long time.
Yes.
Brian Darcy James, I love him.
Saw him as the baker.
Yes,
so
he's amazing. And I think just like as I work with more people, seeing people in the shows I'm working with is really inspiring. Like seeing the fellow covers on this show has been really inspiring, and the covers in New York. And I think that's something I'll keep close with me, because I see them doing this every day and on like a day-to-day basis, and just like seeing them approach it in different ways is really beautiful. And I love the work everyone's doing.
It's so special to watch you guys, because everyone always asks me 2 things about Dear Evan Hansen. One, tell me what's about, and I'm like, no, you go see it.
There's no way to explain it.
If you want me to explain it to you, like I will be halfway through Act 1 by the time you go see it. And also, like, show means the world to me. It's how I discovered my love for theater. It's best show, but I always say it brought the best people into my life. So
I would, I mean, honestly, like ditto.
Yeah.
Like I think that as you know, maybe this is my first like professional thing ever. Like
I didn't know that.
Like he did, he grew up doing Mary Poppins and stuff, but I was in school last year and I got this. And I think like he said it perfectly, like as you grow and evolve as an artist and both as a person, you find new inspiration, you find a new celebrity, or someone's in the media doing this, and you're like, oh damn, I want to do that. And like I think at this point in my life right now, and this past year, working with the older professionals and seeing the fellow covers, how they handled doing cover work and staying on top of their stuff, like really lit the flame under my booty to really like this is something that the material is so good in the show. You love it so much because the writing and the music is so good, and everyone working in this production work their booties off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how you do 2 roles. Like to do and like 3. Like to do 1 is
It's
like
crazy.
insane, but like to do 3, and especially with you guys when Val was on, we always said those poor boys because because for Val and Jill, like I'm not saying it's any
No,
easier
yeah.
because it's not, but like when you think about it, Zoe and Alana have like 1 scene together and then like waving and found, but like you guys are in
Evan,
like
Jared,
every
They're all, yeah.
I could do like half
Yeah.
the scenes in the show with myself, like and
Exactly, and same,
Yeah.
like you just need a Zoe for like what I want to say like couple scenes,
Yeah.
and then you're
What
good.
else I can do? Yeah.
I will be your Zoe whenever. I mean, pains me to say this, but like 1 more week, but like if you ever need.
If you ever need to-
Yeah. So do you have any favorite moments from your theater journey, such as like your first show, your first role?
There's so many little moments. I think that's what like makes it so beautiful. It's like
Yeah.
all the little moments. So on this tour specifically, there's been a lot of moments with people and with the cities we're in. But
Yeah.
just like as a total, like seeing, there's been a lot of shows I've seen that have
Yeah.
been really inspiring and want me to keep creating. And I don't know, it's so
Yeah.
hard to like pick a specific
So
moment.
hard.
Because there's so many that
So
are so
hard.
meaningful.
That one picture of you that you posted during your takeover as Michael, though, I love it.
I
I love it. Just like thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, during this tour, I mean, what was the question again? It was like
Just like favorite moments in your theater journey.
favorite, I mean,
Anything.
I think it had to be
stand out?
on this tour because
Yeah.
like I think we got the offer for this show, and at least for me, it was an expedited process with the year forecast coming in last
Yeah.
June. And I was so enthralled by the fact that I was joining this company and that I was a part of a show like Dear Evan Hansen,
Yeah.
that it didn't really hit me that like I was a part of such a beautiful show and portraying such a beautiful character, except until my debut in Boise, Idaho
Was that your Evan debut?
That was my
Yeah,
Evan
so
debut.
you went on the first
The
time
first-
as
the
Evan,
first
and you
week.
did the same. Was your first role Evan? Going
Yeah,
off
my
on a
first role was
tangent
Evan,
here.
but that was
Yeah.
in New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had a crazy.
I had a crazy expedited debut
process.
because our alternate Jeffrey got COVID
I
while we
was
were
literally
rehearsing.
gonna ask you because we
And-
have to talk about swinging mid-show, sorry.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But it's just basically, like the moment that I was like, oh, like wow, like this is happening was
Yeah.
my debut, and just like coming out the stage door and seeing like people leaving the BSU Morrison
Yeah.
Center in Boise being like, my
Yeah.
parents were there for my debut, and they were just like, my mom had her big sunglasses on, she couldn't take them off. She was like, it was really sweet. It was like, wow, like theater and art is so moving to
special.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. And
What was the question?
no, favorite moments, anything stands out to you? Favorite DEH moment? We can twist it.
Yeah,
had a lot.
I've had a lot. I think obviously like it was my Broadway debut, but I consider
Yeah.
it my re-debut.
Your re-debut, I
my
love that.
re-debut, like as an adult, like
On tour or on Broadway?
on Broadway,
'Cause you
being
did
fully
on Broadway,
conscious.
yeah, because you did the show on Broadway.
I did the show on
first.
Broadway. I only got to do it 5 times, but those 5
And
times.
were you Evan?
All 5 times. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was like a really cool moment because I went to school
Yeah.
like Pierce. I left NYU, so all my NYU friends were there and all my family. I'm from Pennsylvania, so it's
Yeah.
not too far from my family. So I think I had like over 100 people in the audience. It was really
So
nice.
special.
I'll never
Aw.
forget that.
So now before we go into your DEH journeys, which we kind of touched on, swinging on mid-show, especially for Evan, because this was not funny to me, and like I don't mean that in a mean way, but not funny for you because the cast takes 20 minutes to put on,
Yes.
and they did it in 10 with
With a hairdryer.
with a
hair
hairdryer.
dryer.
Yep, we had this story told, but I want to hear your perspectives of swinging mid-show.
He's done it
Yeah.
2 times.
I've done it 2 times.
one time.
You did it
once.
twice.
He did
Okay.
it first if I may speak.
No, you can
in
speak.
in
Yeah.
Salt Lake and in Chattanooga.
Yes.
And Chattanooga was the most recently.
That was
And
like
That
a
was
couple weeks
recent,
ago.
I
yeah.
did it in Seattle at the Paramount.
Oh my god.
And it really is funny because we're just sitting in our,
You sitting-
backstage, we're
yeah.
sitting in our cover room,
Yeah.
working on our own stuff, like spending, passing the time, like singing the songs, working on our own
Yep.
material and stuff. And then all the, like the monitor,
Yeah.
the show
Yeah,
audio is
yeah.
playing above us, and we hear something go wrong or something is not vocally
Oh,
healthy
crap.
on stage, and we're like, oh,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like
It
I mean,
hits you.
it's the cover,
It
like
hits
it's the
you.
cover intuition that's like, oh, now like
Now,
okay,
yeah,
it's
we
time.
stand by
Yeah.
and then we just
Yeah.
wait for it. All 3 times we were ready for the stage manager.
How
to
do you
come in.
know which one of you like goes on?
We have
I'm just
even order.
curious.
We
have the order? Gotcha.
coverage ratio.
So it's like if something goes wrong, you're like, okay, it's me. You're like, okay, yeah.
Like right now it's Pierce's turn. So
Forever.
we know that if
Okay.
something were to happen, Pierce.
Because
would
of
get
course
involved.
the one Evan rule, but you can
Yeah.
only go once a day for Evan.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, love that. So now off on a tangent, your DEH journey. Can you share a little bit where you
Yeah.
started and to now?
So started with the show. I saw it in 2016. So I was in high school. I just took a trip up to New York and saw it, and I absolutely loved it. And
Who was your Evan? Off on a tangent. I'm just curious.
my first Evan was Ben Platt. I saw the show like
Oh.
right before the Tony,
So good.
which was amazing. And then I kind of, it wasn't really a part of my life for a while until college. I had my equity card because I was a child actor,
Yeah.
which ended up being really lucky because there's a thing called EPAs.
Yep.
So I went to I went to an EPA because I was going to school in New York. And I talked to my voice teacher and I was like, hey, I think I'd be really good for the show. And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So I went to the EPA and I guess they kind of liked me because I got a appointment. And then after the appointment, I got a callback. And this was like a month or two into my freshman year.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it went anywhere from there. I think it was just one callback. And then a couple months later, I went to another EPA, the same thing. They have to have EPAs every 6 months.
Right.
So I went to another one and same thing, but I think I got a round farther. And that continued to happen. I kept like going to EPAs, kept getting callbacks.
Got you.
And that happened over the course of a year and a half. So I think it was 6 separate times I was going into initial auditions and then getting
And was that
callbacks.
for all of them or just for Evan?
It started out, I think the first one was Jared Connor.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And then
I want to see you as Connor.
so it started out as that, and then it turned into Evan Jared, and then evolved into Evan Jared Connor. And then the last time was I went to another EPA the last time, and I was like, here's the song I'm gonna sing, and then the casting director went, you're not gonna sing that, sing Waving.
Sing
The
Waving.
last part of Waving, like the high part. It was like,
let's do Waving.
no, it was an EPA, so it was just
Just
Xavier.
randomly.
Yeah, it was just the casting director with Tara Rubin. And it was the
Tara
highest
was
part.
in the room when you auditioned.
It was like 10 a.m.
Oh my
and we were to
God.
go. And then it just happened to book it.
The
for me.
biggest shock that scared me though, like didn't scare me, but I was like, what? Jeff covers Jared.
Mhm.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Usually
full on went
the
shocked.
alternate track covers one, if I may,
Yeah,
if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Covers one other role, but
Yeah.
because they are the alternate track, their coverage for the other role is
Oh my God.
prioritized from the other people that cover.
Oh,
They're not in the
gotcha.
rotation,
Yeah,
so they won't-
They're
yeah.
like vacation covers.
Got
status,
you.
like,
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, I saw the show in 2015 on Easter off Broadway at the second
Oh,
stage.
when it was off.
When it was off Broadway, it still
Oh.
looked the same. It had a different this was when Waving had a different ending. Like after,
What? Enlighten me.
it's on YouTube. If you look up Waving through a window demo.
We're
I
listening to
remember-
this on the way
Yeah, I
to
know,
here.
yeah. It was like the end was like instead of it, like it just like faded off silently. Like it just like got like quiet and just ended like a gentle strum. It wasn't like the big ending.
No, I
but
can't imagine that.
It was.
I
it was so
always
beautiful.
say to every single Evan I ever know is when they step into the blue light and hit that last note.
Yeah.
That's-
It's so
that's
good.
the money. That's the money.
It's the like the I Want song in the show. But I saw it off Broadway. I remember it was on Easter with my family because my mom was like, the kid from Pitch Perfect is in a show. Like we have to go see it. And I wore a tan suit with a bow tie for Easter. I looked like Atticus Finch, and I pulled up and I was like, oh wow, I need to do that. Like I am yearning to sing these songs, to play this role, to tell this story. And like I just like growing up, like I would always just like have the songs in my in my wheelhouse and just like singing because they're just so beautiful and tenery. And July 2021, there was a playbill listing like on playbill.com, like just like open call for Dear Evan Hansen tour, Broadway and London. This was before they announced their closings, and I was like, so I just sent it a video of Waving, and then I was in classes at NYU, skipped to like 4 months later, and I get an appointment, and I got another appointment and another appointment, and on the last day of studio classes, my freshman year at NYU, I got the offer.
I love that.
And I was sitting on the toilet during
I love you.
during ballet. And I was sitting on the toilet, and the email popped up, and I was like and then I was in rehearsals 2 weeks later, and it was a whirlwind.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom because she saw the show with me the first time I saw it. So only fair my dad came to see it the last time I saw it because she went to stay with my brother. And I saw it when I was 11 when it came to Toronto.
Oh my God.
And
like the Canadian cast.
Yeah, the Canadian cast. And my mom was like, she did research into the show. She's like, I don't know if I want to take you because like, subject matter for like 11-year-old me, like not to brag, but I was always like mature
Mhm.
for my age. So my
You can
mom was
handle
like,
that
my
stuff.
mom was like, okay, fine. And I literally was on FaceTime with her and I'm gonna cry because I was like, if you didn't take me to see it when I was 11
Yeah.
and you said you're like not old enough for it, wouldn't know you,
Mm.
wouldn't know the rest of the covers. No
It wouldn't mean
Stan,
that much
no
to you.
Mateo,
Yeah.
and like it wouldn't mean that much. Like this show is how I discovered theater. Like
Mhm.
I went through art schools all through elementary,
Mhm.
studying drama in high school now. And like
Mhm.
it's all because of the show. And like
It's such a beautiful
if
show.
she didn't take me to go see it, like
I mean, that's
where
a
would
lot
we
of
be?
people's story, like a
Yeah.
lot of fansons, like
Yeah.
just like it, especially you, it just like means so much to
Yeah.
them. And that's the beautiful thing about the show. It's, you know, people always, because it's Dear Evan Hansen, people are like,
Yeah.
oh, Evan's the main character. Like your mom who took you to the audience is
Yeah.
probably looking at Heidi and like,
Yeah.
and like,
Resonates,
like,
yeah.
And my dad's gonna look at
like at Larry, like,
today.
yeah, there's every
single
all
thing.
8 people on stage, characters on stage, like there's gonna be someone in the audience that's like,
So
I see you,
It's
like,
so special. It's
yeah.
the most special show ever. I truly believe it is. Every single person needs to see the show.
absolutely.
Always. So this is a fun one because what's it like juggling multiple incredible characters in the show? Which character do you feel best represents you? This is a rough one. And what do you do to get into character?
Oh, God.
Talk to me.
So
2 weeks left.
yeah. 2 weeks on. I think the easiest way to juggle all 3 of them is to know that they are similar. They all
Yeah.
want the same thing. They all want connection. And I think just branching off from
Yeah.
there, they deal with wanting that and not getting it in different ways.
Yeah.
Obviously, Evan deals with it with being incredibly anxious and making up this
Right.
lie, and Jared uses humor to cope, and
Right.
Connor tries to put on a big like
Yeah.
I'm stronger than you
Bigger than all
to
this.
protect himself.
Yep.
And I think knowing that and starting with that core is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, I do see myself in each of them. There's parts of
Yeah.
me that belongs to Connor, parts of me that belong to Jared and Evan. So I think that really helps, is like identifying with these boys.
Is your script also highlighted different color? Every cover
absolutely.
tells me that.
Oh,
They're like, you
yeah.
do not want to see my script. I'm like,
It's
yes, I do.
It's a little ugly.
Yeah.
Like my
It's-
script is like
What colors do you use?
Evan's blue and Jared's
Evan's
orange.
blue.
Yeah.
I have pink for Jared,
Huh?
and then yellow for Connor.
Oh
But
yeah.
I have 3 separate scripts, one for each.
Oh,
character.
That's commitment.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
great.
that's
One that's just
commitment.
messy.
I spent
That's just
$300 printing, like going to Staples printing. It was
I mean,
crazy.
it's worth
I
it.
was dedicated.
No, we're
I was
not.
like, I'm
Oh.
doing it.
I love that. And then so
Yeah, I mean, I cover Evan and Jared, and both of them are a good time. You know,
yeah, I mean Evan's your hit,
Evan's-
Jared's your comedic relief.
you know, yeah. And I feel like in the beginning I'd be like, yeah, Evan, I really connect with, and I do. I like you
Yeah.
said, like as an actor playing a character, you're gonna obviously bring. You can't not bring yourself into a role.
Yeah,
Like, you don't just detach yourself and embody another person. Like
Right.
you do, you become a version of this character.
That's
in
why it's so
yourself.
special. Sorry to cut you off, but like every time you see an Evan, like I've seen the
It's
show, I can't even
different.
count. It's different,
Yeah.
and I love that so much. Sorry,
Yeah.
continue.
And I think in the beginning I'd be like, yeah, I relate most with Evan because, you know, I think everyone sees themselves in Evan a little
Yeah.
bit, just like everyone F's up a little, like sometimes and accidentally tells a white lie or a big lie or
Yeah.
or is anxious. But I
Yep.
think as the year has gone by, I think I love playing Jared because I deal with comedy as a coping mechanism.
Kinky.
I kinky. And like when you're watching the show, Jared is obviously like the comedic relief, but playing it is a lot more, like there's a lot more going on behind the scenes when you
Yeah.
leave the stage and you're in the wings,
Yep.
like thinking of what you're about to bring on. Like first day of school, the first line he comes out is like is it weird?
Yeah,
The first, you know,
yeah.
but before
Tell
that,
him
he
it.
probably was like, I just I gotta make another friend this year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's just,
Yeah.
there's some levels under.
It's the perspectives you see it in, the way you think about it, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool. Like I always tell this story to Evans. I don't know if you know, but Sam Premack told me that when he was on tour, he did Evan in the morning and David Jeffrey did Connor, or at night, I don't
Mhm.
know, and then they flipped.
Yeah.
Like I was like, how?
It's crazy.
Like the stories that people tell me from tour is crazy,
Yeah.
and like from Broadway too. Do you have one? Sorry, I'm going off on so many tangents.
No, it's okay.
I was kind of
You-
in LA. I did.
Have a Jared moment.
Yeah, I did
Oh.
twice. I did the matinee as Evan and then was Jared for the night show. Just because a couple people had COVID and it was crazy.
I always ask, do you have that minute where like, okay, I'm on as Evan. I don't know Evan's next line, but I know Jared's next line.
Oh,
What
absolutely.
do I do?
Constantly.
I mean, you just gotta be listening, but
Yeah.
there are definitely times where it's like,
Yeah.
it comes back in.
There are so many times where I'm like in the middle of a scene and I'm like, I'm forgetting my line. And then it just comes
Yeah,
to you and you're like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Also, I have to ask, because everyone says playlists. Do you have your Evan
Oh,
Jared Connor
yes.
playlists?
We
Do
were
you
talking
do
about
that or
this
no?
at
Kind of.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen, I don't know if you like Beyonce.
Oh,
For Jared, the new Renaissance, let me get this right to the camera. For Jared, I crank that Renaissance album in my dressing room because I'm up, I'm up and it's like, it's gonna be a good, funny day.
yeah.
And for Evan, you know, obviously more somber, like tranquil vibes, more focused vibes. I like to listen to Nora Jones.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And it's just like the atmosphere of the dressing room is just like quiet vibes and they're putting on the cast and
Yeah.
drinking my tea, my
Absolutely.
water.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Getting ready for the journey that will be the next 2 hours.
The next 2 hours.
Yeah.
People are like, how long is the show? I'm like, just watch it.
Sorry, yeah.
Jared, I watch Bo Burnham specials because
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite comedians.
Mhm.
Evan, I don't really listen to music. There's 2 songs I'll listen to.
Love you. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. There's a song called Patience by the Lumineers and a song called
Yes.
April by the Lumineers, and they're both
So good.
just piano. There's no voice. They help me calm down. But most of the time it's Evan. I literally just lay on the floor of the dressing room and just like breathe.
Do you steam?
I do
I've never
steam.
tried it. Like, I don't sing because I'm a terrible singer. I think I can sing, but I can't sing. But like, I want to try it though.
Steaming's
Like, I
great.
feel like it's
Yeah.
cool.
I like steaming I mean, we're covers for Evan, so
Yeah,
if I
you
knew
don't-
I was
yeah.
going on as Evan, like when I woke up, like I usually like to
Yeah.
steam in the morning if I have a
Mhm.
performance at night. I like to
Yeah.
nebulize right before.
Yeah.
Nebulizing is more like direct hit to the vocal. Steaming is like, let's open
Yeah.
everything, every
Yeah.
nasal cavity up and stuff.
Okay, one more tangent before we go to the next question. I know you had your like mid-show swing-ons, but did you have like what was your like closest time to like know you were going on? I'm just like curious.
I had the one and only time I went on as Connor. So it was my Connor debut and also my last Connor show.
First and last
First
Connor
and
show.
I had my,
My Connor.
I forget if it wasn't my put-in. We had a rehearsal that day.
Your put-in was the
Yeah.
week before and
My
your
put-in was
rehearsal
we had a
was
rehearsal that day. I was
as you were
Connor for the
Connor, yeah.
rehearsal. And
Yeah.
then Nikhil, who was Connor at the time, tested positive.
Oi.
So I found out 15 minutes before that I was making my Connor debut.
Oh
They came
my
in and they're
God.
like, "You ready to make your debut?" And I thought they were joking because I was like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, sure. So I think that was the least amount of time I had, which is crazy. I had to paint my nails. My nails
Yeah,
were
and
painted.
you-
It was my
you,
debut,
like,
and
my
yeah,
God.
it was crazy.
In October last year in
Yeah.
Durham, Anthony tested positive for COVID
Oh, I remember
at
that.
half hour
Oh, I
for
don't remember
Evan.
that.
And I was like, oh, I remember because I had just got off the plane because I went to New York for another callback for something.
Slay.
Slay. And I got back to Durham, North Carolina at 4 p.m., got to the theater at 7 and was let know that I was going on at 7. And I was so jet lagged and I did leg day at the gym the day
I
before.
love
So I was like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
like-
doing crisscross applesauce on the bed. I was like, oh, but
It's not gonna
today's
be
gonna be a tight day. But yeah, I mean, our dance captain Kelsey and
Shout out.
our Colleen, shout out Colleen Sexton as Heidi. They both came into my room and were like, "You're good," because this is my first time,
Yeah,
like
going on,
quickest,
yeah.
quickest,
Oh my God.
like let's
Yeah.
go. You know, I think the earliest Evan call I've ever gotten was like 12:30 noon, like
Dang, for a 7:30 or 8?
for an 8, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
That's a
blessing.
luxury. That's
Yeah.
nice.
We were in
Dad,
we were in
Dad.
Chicago. I was like, thank you, Anthony. Like, it was very nice.
Shout out Anthony.
Yeah.
My last Evan. Tears. I actually can't believe we're waving goodbye today. Like, you guys still have a week.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God, I have to show you after off camera. I made a collage first time I saw it, Broadway, and then today I cried. Okay, so gotta be happy now. What is your favorite part and most challenging part about playing the characters? You won't just name all of them, just, you know. I know
I
it's a
feel like I
rough
haven't
one.
started. Do you want to start a lot?
Oh,
Or do you want to start? I
I'll
don't
start.
start.
I
I
had this
can
one
speak.
already because I looked at the question.
I know, yeah.
I did my homework.
You did a good job, Pierce.
I think my favorite, what is it? Favorite scene in the show? Favorite?
Favorites, like challenging, most
Oh,
challenging.
okay,
Your
okay.
favorite and most challenging part about.
I think I've always loved doing Evan in Act 2 because
Words fail.
Act one is an uphill journey climb. There's like multiple songs.
Bike
and
the Appalachian
multiple-
Trail.
It's-
Just do
right,
it.
basically, it's like there's waving, there's for forever, there's if I could tell her, there's disappear, there's you, there's just like it's going up. And I love Act one. I love the material in Act one, but something about Act two is established, like the character is established, and not only is it established, but it's now like a more confident. I mean, you'll see
Of
tonight.
course,
There's a more confident. The Connor project is taking off, and he
Yeah.
has closer friends now. He feels like big man on campus a little bit, and he has Zoe right now.
Yep.
There's more of an arc that's like visible to the audience, and I've always felt more
Yeah.
comfortable doing that. I especially love my favorite song. Show is Good for You because it's a
Bang.
rock like.
I
the-
can't pick a favorite, but I'm like bang.
I want you tonight when you're in the audience, listen to the drums during
Okay.
Good for You because
Okay.
they go.
I
Oh.
literally told my dad, and I'm telling Anthony, if you're watching, love you, and I'm very sorry for singing. I have to like try so hard not to sing tonight, try so hard not to laugh, and not go hey, hey, because I'm like, I know the show, like this is gonna sound weird, but like I know the show like the back of my hand. Like I
bet.
actually like it's actually insane. And I was singing in the car on the drive over here because we drove in early this morning, and I was like, I'm getting all my singing out,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna sing in the
Get your
theater
jitters out, yeah,
because
yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
What I need.
Favorite
I'm so
favorite
sorry.
challenging or
Okay.
good.
I'm kind
Serious
of the
business
opposite.
hands.
Seriously. I really love Act one. I really thrive on chaos and anxiousness. 'Cause
Yeah.
I am naturally an anxious person. So Act one comes really easily to me.
Yeah.
All the like anxiousness. I just love doing it. I love like
So
needing to
good.
sing 5 huge songs. Like
Yes.
and that makes me
Cranking
so
them out.
happy.
Up
Yeah.
the scale. Reese.
I feel great. Like I love doing it. I think the most challenging. Heidi at the Murphys
Mm.
is such a
Everyone
great
talks
scene.
about that scene.
Something
Every
about it.
time around, I was it's
Something
iconic.
about
It's
it.
so
It's
good.
it's
The
just
material,
the fact that you're
the-
just sitting there in
And
like
you're-
your
yeah.
anxiousness, but
Yeah, I
like
feel you.
there's this great
It's
theme
the
going
first
on.
time in the show where Evan is like, I can't speak.
Yeah.
When the
Right.
entire show he's blabbing and he's like,
Right, right.
like just like
Right.
saying like
No way, Jose.
speaking before he
Yeah.
thinks. And it's the first time where he's seeing his two worlds collide.
Yep.
The Murphys and his mom, and he's just like,
Yeah.
and it's just crumbling.
Can't do
He
it.
sees his mom. He sees the color from his mom's face just
Yeah.
drain when they. I don't want. Am I want to spoil?
You can spoil, it's
Offer
fine.
the financial support,
Yeah.
and she and I mean, have you seen Calling This, Heidi?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
you're
This will be
gonna-
my first time. I'm
you're
so
going to love
excited
it.
to see
During
this
that scene,
cat.
she is just like she'll make
so
you cry.
excited.
She just is.
I'm so hyped.
It's a beautiful, well,
It's a beautiful.
I
scene.
literally have my tissues.
Yeah.
I literally have them ready.
Oh,
I'm like,
you
I'm
get
gonna
get
cry
ready.
so much, and especially because it's goodbye. Like I'm
Mm.
gonna cry a lot.
Absolutely.
More.
It's so hard.
Okay, off on a tangent. Favorite song to sing and hardest song to sing. I love asking
Favorite
Evans
song to
this.
sing? I love singing Words Fail. I love singing Words Fail
Really?
because I love being emotionally vulnerable
Yeah.
and just like looking at Lily who plays Cynthia, Elena plays
Mhm.
Zoe, and John who plays Larry, just like sobbing into their eyes. And then I love that Words Fail is written as Words Fail in the score. It's Words Fail Part 1.
Right, and Words Fail Part 2. Yeah,
Words
yeah.
Fail Part 1 is with them at the.
And then
Words Part 2 is like
the- yeah,
soliloquy
yeah, yeah.
monologue.
Yeah. I think
out.
it's in parentheses Evan alone.
Evan
somewhere
alone, yeah.
too. I
Oh,
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I love how it's written, and I love that. And most challenging part is I don't know. I don't want to be like there's no challenging parts. I think the whole show
The
is
whole
just
show
like
is
it's just
just
like
so-
a
yeah.
marathon to get through.
Yep.
But just like I think like yeah, I can't identify like a challenge.
Yeah.
I can't identify.
I
don't know. It's challenging. It's so easy.
They do it all.
Yeah. What about you?
I think For Forever is my favorite.
Oh, I
And
love that
something
song.
the arc of the song and just
I
like
know. It's so good.
being Evan and imagining like having a friend is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Not as Evan, but like seeing it from the outside.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so heartbreaking. I just love the
There's
journey of that
always like
song.
the specific parts in the song for me where I just lose it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
it's so
I'm
good.
losing it the entire songs, but there's like just the specific parts where I'm just like, okay,
Yeah, it's
like,
such a
we're
beautifully
doing
crafted
this.
song, for sure.
like we're here. I think it like because I was telling myself all day, like it's gonna sound weird. I was like, this show has been a huge part of my life since I was 11. Like it's been like 5 years.
Mhm.
And like it didn't hit me that I was saying goodbye till I hugged you guys. And I was like,
Aw.
oh, I can't. Like it's so better be revived in like 20 years.
Oh, you know.
Sam was on like a while ago, and then he came back to do a collab with one of our friends who's in Parade.
Oh.
And we were like talking about it, and I was like, my dream role is to do Zoe, but I can't sing.
Mhm.
So I was like, we're gonna do a 54 Below show. We're just gonna do some Only Us and just call it a day.
All day, like, you know.
You know, yeah, live out your dreams a different
A different way, a
Different
different way.
Everyone has different paths.
Yeah, it's your journey.
Yeah.
So, your favorite song and scene from the show? I could never pick.
For forever, favorite
Yeah.
song, favorite scene. Like on the outside, Heidi at the Murphys, but
Yeah.
I hate doing that scene. Like
Because
I
you're just
said,
sitting there, I know. I
I
feel
hate
you.
doing it. It's so like it makes me so anxious. I don't know. It's so hard. There's so many good
Yeah.
scenes. I like doing a Connor scene. I like a good like
I want to see you do Connor so
the,
bad.
the computer lab scene. I love
It's-
computer.
Oh, before waving, the one
Connor and
before
Evan
waving?
Act 2. That's
a
my
good
answer.
scene.
That's my.
Oh,
I love that
it's
scene.
good.
Yeah. I've always loved. I love drama. I love Michael Craig's direction with the drama in the show, the screaming. I
He's
love
so
the
Did
fight.
he work with you guys?
He did work with us in
I
New
love
York.
that.
He came out in Chicago. He came out in some other time, Boise. He came out in Boise.
Yeah. please.
Sweet.
And I love the fight between Heidi and Evan before Good for You.
Yeah.
Post Heidi
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they get home, because I don't know, like I can't emphasize enough, the material is just
So
so
good.
delicious that like it's so satisfying as an artist to read good
Do it.
material and be like,
Yeah.
I could see this.
Yeah.
I could see this on stage. Like I have a vision of like
Yeah.
how a mom and a son would. I mean, we've all had fights with
Yeah.
our mothers, like screaming, like I mean, if I may speak upon all of it, like it
Yeah.
just feels natural, like the lines. And I also love. I don't think anyone's ever said this. I love doing glove with John.
Okay,
You know,
wait.
he's-
Okay,
he's
you brought
wonderful.
something up. I need your opinions on this. Glove, incredible song. I love it. No shade to Glove. It hits live like
It
nothing.
hits-
Okay.
Something about something about it
That's where I was
the
getting.
album, it's
On the
just a little-
album, do you skip? Do you play?
I skip it.
Do you skip? Do you play?
I skip.
Okay, we all agree.
But nothing to
No.
Michael Park.
No,
amazing.
Michael Park is
Like,
amazing.
I think
I think it just hits better
the
live.
song
Absolutely.
leaves out the dialogue beforehand, like the
Oh,
scene going
yeah, the
into
scene
it, and the
before.
vibes of awkward son and father not knowing how to talk and
Exactly.
be let's
Exactly.
Be less,
fatherly,
be less.
you know, yeah.
It needs the context.
It needs the
Yeah.
context of the show.
Yeah, like I was playing For Forever for my dad, and I was like, you need the context, like
Yeah.
just listening to it, because like I can't imagine being that clueless about Hansen, because like, you know, but like
can't
to
imagine.
like have someone be that clueless, and I'm like explaining to him, okay, this is like, you know, this part, and like tell her is like the turning point where
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm like trying to like explain everything, and I was just like, okay, great. So what do you enjoy most about doing the show and touring, especially? Oh, break. I ran into the tour truck today. So special to
It's so
see.
cool.
It's so, because like I see it on pictures and I'm just like, okay, this is like the coolest thing. And then I stood in front of there and I'm like tearing up. My dad's like, why?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you don't understand.
That's my mom, when she saw my debut, she pointed out the truck, because not many, I mean, a lot of tours these days have like the
Yeah, the
like,
truck,
I
yeah.
forget what it's called when you put like something on a car or a truck, like you paint
Decal?
decal
Yeah.
like, but something with a big blue Dear Evan Hansen, and then like
Yeah.
in the little cities.
My dad took a picture and it says like Dear Evan Hansen. And I'm like, no, I'm like, no.
Okay. It's so special, and it's like oh wow, like we're like Dear Evan Hansen has come to town, like
Yeah.
it's Big Blue is here, like
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, but like, are the beds in there? The beds are in there.
the beds for the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
is
we
everything- I'm
travel-
so
we have, like,
curious.
5
We travel with
trucks.
8 trucks.
Oh,
It's 8
dang.
trucks offsite.
No one
No,
told me
no,
this.
It's
Because
a lot of trucks.
That's a lot
and
of
the
show.
show doesn't even have that much of a set, so
That
imagine like a
is
show
fine.
with
It's
like
just
Les
the trees, the table.
the
the
giant
beds, the
panels,
panels,
the
and
pit that's up.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
not-
yeah,
that's
yeah,
The
the
yeah.
whole stage, like the whole floor of the stage.
Yeah,
count,
because
that's
the
ours.
trees.
Yeah.
And because of the, actually,
The trees don't come.
the trees
don't come
here
out.
don't come up out of the ground, they come from the side.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a little
I feel
different.
like
It's
it's
a little
something
different.
different from the Broadway production. The tour, I mean, I don't know if I'm
No.
the tour production is just, it's like a little bigger in scale, because we played
Yes.
in bigger
Yeah.
houses other than the music
Right,
box.
right,
which
right.
is
Because the
small.
music box is a small house.
She's
tiny,
small, she's
yeah.
intimate, and the only thing different, I think, automation wise, is the trees come from the side, and the
Yeah.
file cabinet in Evan's.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Also, the discs here are a little bigger than New York. Like
Oh
where
yeah,
everything
yeah,
comes
yeah,
out
yeah.
on.
Got you.
I can't imagine those discs being small.
Smaller, I know.
That's crazy.
And I can't imagine waving being higher. Someone told me it's supposed to be higher. I can't remember who it was.
Absolutely not.
That
And
would
I
be-
was just
that would be
like,
a death
that's like
sentence.
painful for you guys.
No,
No.
no,
If I could tell her,
has altered.
has been lowered.
Really? Because
in
I know
New York.
Sam told me that that's his hardest song to sing.
Yeah, they lower it for some people, but I
Yeah.
don't think anyone here has it lowered.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite part touring with the show, doing the show?
I mean, I'm still in my teens, and
Yeah.
just getting the chance to have a job where I get to tell this beautiful story while traveling the country and seeing places I never thought I got to see. Has always been so special. Like just past like my moving motivation is the fact that like next week I'm gonna be in where are we?
South Carolina.
It's Columbia, South Carolina. I've never been there. I never thought to be there, but I'm excited to travel with this story and explore the city. We always we love to check out restaurants in the area.
Yeah.
Today we went to Niagara Falls. We're in Buffalo.
They did Made of the Mist.
Made of the
You guys know
That's
that?
why our hair is.
They're
It's a little
wet.
messed up.
I love it though.
We got so.
But
It's good.
just getting the fact, just
Get
got a
the fun.
chance to. While doing a show, why not do it on the road? You know, Like, do it
Exactly.
in different places.
You get to travel. It's awesome.
I think my favorite part has to be the people. Like
Love the people. Shout out to
Absolutely.
DH fam. Love
just
you
like
all.
obviously meeting Valeria was a huge part.
Yeah.
and
Love Val.
for-
Mom and
for
dad.
That yes, Jillian and Pierce.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey and Ian and obviously the covers we form a close bond because we're all
Cover
backstage at the end, but the onstage cast too. Like
Yeah.
just forming these relationships and getting to do such a heavy, beautiful show together is really special, and that's something I'll always enjoy.
Oh, I love you guys.
Yeah, we're so glad we're here.
I know, I'm so happy. So for our last question, looking back on all you have achieved in this industry, all you've done, what advice would you give to your younger self before entering the industry? We ask everyone this question.
Oh, before entering the industry,
You were little. Like,
I was
you were what?
little.
You were like, how old were you when you
first professional show I was 9.
9? So you were
The
little.
first tour I was 10.
What did you do on tour?
God, man.
Beauty and the Beast.
Who were you?
I was Chip.
No, oh my, I had
No,
to-
you were the beast, right?
No, yeah,
the Beast at
actually,
9?
I was Chip and the Beast.
gas on.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
9 years old.
Yeah.
At 9, oh my god, 9-year-old Reese doing
That was
gas
great.
on.
That I was on that tour for
I
a
live for
year and a
that.
half. It was crazy.
Aw.
I'm gonna say entering the industry as an adult because it's a little different as a
Yeah,
kid. I wasn't really aware of what was happening most of the
Right.
time. I just like showed up and was
Just
like,
shut up.
Yeah.
Chip boy.
no. I don't know why we talk like that because it's Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll,
whatever.
hello, dog.
Yeah.
I think it's important to know that you're on your own journey, and
I love that.
it's really important to not compare yourself to other people's successes.
forward,
'cause
not
Yeah.
look
I
forward.
agree.
You can look back, but not in a like, oh, like look back
Yeah.
in like I'm gonna learn from that and I'm gonna grow
Exactly.
from that.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to uplift and support each other rather than be like, they got a call back for this, they
Yeah.
booked this, like, why didn't I? It's just like, look inward, work hard. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing is the harder nobody can ever, if you work hard enough, nobody can ever tell you that you're not working hard enough. So
Yep.
that's something I always want to take with me in the room. And I don't want anyone to ever look at me and be like, he didn't work hard on
Yes.
this.
Yeah. They say work hard so then you'll no longer have to introduce yourself.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was my
Oh, no,
ditto
go
again. I
See,
mean,
you play the same characters they share.
We're
right?
just like,
yeah. I mean, on top of that, like I don't know, I like to think of myself as like a positive, more energy. I think
Yeah.
coming into like you said, industry, like an
Yeah.
industry where we all love to sing and dance and act and
Yep.
and tell stories
We
and
do it
move
all.
people. Why not do it with a smile on your face? With
Or crying.
or
3 times a
crying,
week.
or crying at times we get stressed specifically. Like, I think there's something so beautiful in being passionate about what you do, whether it is not theater, maybe it's a different industries like desk jobs or something. Like if you go into an audition room with like you said, the hardest work that you've given, and you show
Yeah.
them that I am the right guy for you, I'm the right girl for you, like something so admirable in that, and like
Yeah.
just being passionate about learning the material and performing the show and
Yeah.
being grateful for the show that we get to share. Yeah.
That's so special. This was so special. First
Thank you for
in-person
having
episode.
us. Yeah.
I love you guys. This was the best way to end my D.
Aw, that's so
I
sweet.
love it.
Bye.
Bye.